In the previous lesson, I already presented a brief description about the ancient Mesopotamian diplomacy. In this video, I will present a detailed and more in-depth discussion about how the ancient Mesopotamian diplomacy differs from the modern nation-state diplomacy that we have right now. Okay, as a context, remember the kingdoms present in the ancient Mesopotamian civilization are not considered states as states in the modern sense because I have been telling you in the even in the first part of our lessons, the modern nation state that we have right now is an imposition of the West. It originated from the Westphalian nation state system established in 1648. These political groupings are operating in the following environmental conditions. Number one, equal and allied groups conduct relations in the spirit of brotherhood and fraternity. What does it mean? It means that the idea of brotherhood leads to an understanding of the polity as an extended family. So basically, the kings of the kingdoms in the ancient Mesopotamian civilization, number one, regards themselves as brothers. And as brothers, they have this sense of kinship, of belongingness to a certain family. So, what is the implication of this kind of consciousness or narrative in the minds of these Mesopotamian kingdoms or kings or leaders? So, basically, this kind of thinking led to a notion of, as I have mentioned here, there's a notion of an extended family. In addition, as an implication, this notion of family inside an alliance among these kingdoms creates this what we call order, an ordering of kingdoms or a worldview, worlding, or a worldview of how kingdoms are what are patterned or organized. So therefore, in this case, the more closer you are, or in the case of family labels, the more closer you are to a specific king is it means that the more affinitive or the higher the affinity in terms of political relations. So the more the closer the political or economic relations between the kingdoms, the the more frequent these kings will regard each other as brothers. So, and in that case, that will have an implication of having a pyramid or a hierarchy among the groupings or among how kings, individual kings, regard their fellow kings in terms of their alliances. So kumbaga, the colder the relation the relationship with another kingdom, the treatment will be is that this kind of kingdom or this leader is an equivalent to like a black sheep or the person in the family that you are not really close to or uh, affinitive to. Okay, there's this also the presence of what we call faith-based diplomacy, in which, as I have mentioned, religion has been has been one of the elements of international relations that keeps shaping international events, and such phenomenon has been existing even in the ancient times. So, the ancient Mesopotamian kingdoms believe on the presence of gods during the agreements and other political affairs. Treaties are sworn in the presence of the gods. Thus, the gods serve as witnesses. Treaty documents are actually treated as the tablets of the life of the gods, and the idea of violating such treaties will merit the wrath of the gods. However, there is a caveat here. Why? As has been said in the realist theory of international relations, in international relations, there is no such thing as permanent friend or enemy. So in this case, despite that these kings conduct their diplomacy based on religious terms, there are still wars and military conquests that occur during their time. Why? Because Mesopotamian kingdoms, despite that they swore an oath to the gods that they will honor the treaties and agreements, they just justified their invasions, their incursions to other kingdoms by arguing that they are carrying the will of the gods, and the kings serving as the generals of these deities. So in this case, this kind of phenomenon is an example of what we call the phenomenon of organized hypocrisy. So what do we mean by organized hypocrisy? I'm not sure if you already encountered this term in your other classes, but I think that this is a good way of characterizing the diplomatic relations of the ancient Mesopotamian kingdoms. How? Okay, organized hypocrisy is a concept offered by Stephen Krasner, a well-known liberal theorist, or yeah, or a scholar who subscribes in the liberal school of international relations. So if you will encounter him in the other literature, or in some of his writings, basically most of his writings are dedicated in the formation of international regimes, or he's one of the what we call the authorities of regime theory. So what is organized hypocrisy? So Stephen Krasner recognized that there are institutions existing in international relations. Again, when we talk about institutions in international relations, we do not only refer to the formal organizations like the United Nations and the other regional organizations or other intergovernmental organizations. We also refer to institutions to those informal institutions that refers to the practices, norms, procedures, and decision making, yeah, practices, procedures, norms, um, unwritten rules, and decision making protocols that are existing in the international system. So what's the relevance of those informal institutions? We can say that these are institutions, whether they are formal or informal, if such if their existence, whether it's a formal organization or a practice or a consciousness, if their existence constrains, limits, or constrain, limit, or shape the available options of a global actor to pursue. So, for example, a state, despite that there's anarchy and that a state can pursue whatever it likes, whether to invade, to go to war, states' behavior are usually what? They are usually constrained or limited by their adherence to international law, by their membership, to an international or regional organization, or by what? Participating on different kinds of practices like meetings, ad hoc, or the very relationship of a state to other states. It can be considered as an institution because despite that there is no governing rule about their relationship, their engagement has been what? Has been a factor to limit the options or the paths or avenues a certain state can pursue, considering its history of close relationships with another state. Okay, so in that kind of understanding, the presence of international institutions is usually violated, and it is actually violated by those who formed or created such institution. And how does this violation becomes valid? This violation becomes valid if the violation was conducted collectively. So in the article of Stephen Krasner, he mentioned about the modern nation state system after the Treaty of Westphalia, in which the European nations agreed that they will respect the equality of states among them, that they will respect or that they will not intervene in the domestic affairs of the state. However, as they pursued imperialist pursuits, or they started this what we call age of colonization, when they encountered states which do not belong, or I mean, sorry, when they encountered political entities which do not belong to the European circle, they no longer, or they no longer they do no longer uphold the principle of equality that they agreed in the Treaty of Westphalia. Instead, they applied the opposite in their engagement with Asian civilizations like China and Japan. They did not respect, or they did not practice the principle of equality, and they intervened in the domestic affairs of these two civilizations in Asia when they reached them. So that's what we call organized hypocrisy. So in this case, the the idea of organized hypocrisy is applicable in the Mesopotamian diplomacy, because despite that they have this institution of swearing to the gods, and the idea or belief that violation of diplomatic agreements will lead to the will lead to the receiving of the ire or wrath of the gods, or punishment of the gods, they still broke those agreements or arrangements, and it has become a valid violation, because the such violation of doing incursions and invasions have been practiced throughout the civilization numerous times or several times. So it is the concept of organized hypocrisy is applicable.